Hello and welcome to the Conscious Leadership Podcast. My name is Julie Hogbin and I am the creator of the 3 weekly episodes that are produced: Wealth Wednesday, the A to Z of Business on Friday, and a longer content piece or interview on a Monday. If you like what you hear, please share this podcast if you think it would support and help somebody else. Welcome. A couple of things have happened this week that's really got me thinking about what is our future? How do we create our future? So what is your future and how do you create your future? And then what do we need to do to make that future a reality? So what do you need to do to make your future a reality? And there's a couple of things that have happened that have clicked into place that have really made me think this week and much more deeply about certain things than I have done, perhaps a bigger reality. When we change, what is our future? That's one thing. And of course that is around goal setting, but how do we future-proof our future that we are creating in the now for the future? Now, I really appreciate that is a sentence and a half, so let me say it again. When we change, what is our future? That's one thing. And of course it is around goal setting. And here's the question. How do we future-proof our future that we are creating in the now for the future? Who do we have to be? And I've spoken about this subject a few times, and actually the more you think about it, the deeper it gets. And for those of you that have listened to me on various platforms, Clubhouse, LinkedIn, other podcasts, I sometimes do go down rabbit holes. But then something happened this week. I was on a mastermind and we had a guest speaker in who also happens to be one of my mentors on another program. And they came in and gave us a talk. And my mentor started talking about playing the money game and him not agreeing with playing the money game, even though he plays the money game. As of course we all do in one way or another. So what's the money game? The money game is around earning our income, earning our living, having money in the bank or investments or assets or pensions, whatever it is. But in reality, we cannot live without money, whatever format that money comes in. So then that got me thinking about how do we play the money game to secure our future linked to devaluation of money and the changing of the economy with inflation. This particular mentor of mine is an economist, trained economist, and it really made me think, and a couple of people in the room, I could physically see that it really screwed their mind because they'd never considered the future and the money they have as a devaluing entity. Not in the format of creating our future-proof future with the financial aspect of money devaluing. And one of the things he said was that money devalues, and I think he said 50% over a period of 10 to 15 years. And that's what really got me thinking. So if you've got £10,000 now, and yes, I appreciate we are not getting any interest in the bank at the moment. But if you've got £10,000 out and you just left it, that 10,000 would, if I've got the percentage right, be worth £5,000 in 10 years' time. You're not going to get the same with £5,000 in 10 years' time as you get with £10,000 now. So think about this. Say you're 20 and you're creating your future and you're thinking about your security. A, who do you need to be? B, what do you need to be? And C, how much money do you need to earn? How much money do you have to need? How much money do you need to have in the bank? So if you're 20 and say currently you decide you want, I don't know, a £3 million portfolio or £3 million cash in the bank, there's two different goals to be set there. And the first thing is that if it then devalues by half over 10 years and you get 3 million in the bank now, cash in bank, 3 million in the bank now in 10 years' time, that's going to be worth 1.5 million. And if you just go with the straight, pure physics of that, that's 1.5 million gone with you doing nothing. And that really got me thinking, and I'm laughing because it's in my head and I'm on the same path. That really got me thinking about how much do you really need in the bank now for the future, let alone who you need to be living into your future. How much money do you really need in the bank now, or in a portfolio, or as income? Because we can be physically fit, we can have our goals of who we want to be, we create who we want to be now for the future and in the future, because we have to live into our future self. You can tell how my head went down a rabbit hole on this one. And that's something I've been thinking a lot about as well. So that's physically, mentally and spiritually. And the true wealth triad is financial, health and the spiritual connection. So your spiritual, your personal development, your growth and your relationships. So how does that affect who we have to become to be the person we need to be in 10, 20, 30 years' time? And how do we build towards it now with all of those things in play? I asked my friend Emmanuel Ezekiel, who has written the book 6 Steps to Financial Freedom, which I highly recommend, and this is what he said. There's many layers to the question. The first layer is written in his book about how much money you need to accrue for the future. Whether you have a pension or whether you have cash, you typically need a pot size of 20 times more than you need as an income. So if you have a current income of 100,000, you need 20 times at roughly a 5% return just to keep you on track with the income that you need. And obviously if you start now as a 20-year-old, when you retire at 65, that amount has to be linked to inflation. And I say retire at 65, for women it's just gone to 67 in the UK. For men I think it is now 70 in the UK. So what will it be in the future? Will we ever retire as such if we have a job? So it won't be 20 times they'll probably need. It will be 35 to 45 times where you are today. And it's based on a formula in terms of how you future-proof your income. So there's two parts to it. One is a cash amount and one is an increment when it comes to financial freedom, or how you evaluate. You have to have multiple layers of income. One's your cash amount and one is your income amount. And that is all covered in Emmanuel's book, The 6 Steps to Financial Freedom. And I really do recommend you buy that and read it or listen to it. I'm not sure if it's on Audible. So how you future-proof yourself is no different to how you future-proof your income. You have to invest in yourself today to become who you want to be in the future, along the way creating the compound effect. What you do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis and an annual basis compounds. And over a period of time you become the person that you want to become. And none of us start off being the person who we are today. It's a list of different events and experiences that allow us to grow and develop. And unless we invest in ourselves physically in terms of our health, in terms of what we put into ourselves, so to food, to nutrition, mentally what we feed our brain, how we increase our financial IQ, how we increase our personal self-awareness, we will never become a true version of who it is that we want to be or should be. So in the future, it's just a multiple of a compounded effect, just like the stock market or anything else. Nothing ever goes in a straight line. You will never see you will never see a continuous growth, because we all stop, we get comfortable, we grow, we get comfortable, we grow, we get comfortable. And whether that's financial, spiritually, emotionally or physically. If your health isn't or hasn't been great over a few days, it can be a setback. And that doesn't mean not to do the things you know you should do on a regular basis to bring you back on track. Everything is evolving, and the universe is designed to make things difficult for us, to allow us to grow. Nature's designed that way. And this is something, again, that Emmanuel said that I had not thought about. A lobster will shed its shell to grow. It has to grow out of its existing shell to become even bigger, better and stronger. As do snakes. Now, we're not snakes and we're not lobsters. But it is what we as humans have to do. We shed the old to grow into the new. And nature teaches us that we have to evolve with the growing. So we grow, we evolve, or we die. There's no standing still. If you if you can't stand still, you'll go. If you're not growing and evolving, you'll go backwards. So if you're standing still, others around you are growing. And we have to constantly look at ways of how to improve ourselves, yourself. And it doesn't always have to be financially. And then here's another thought. We in the Western world tend to overcomplicate our lives because we buy things to impress other people that we don't know and we might not even like. And we do that in terms of cars, we do it in terms of houses, we do it in terms of possessions. When in reality, if you actually simplify your life, your route to financial freedom and happiness is far, far quicker than trying to chase the money. When you take the analogy of the snake and the lobster into us as humans, physically we're not going to shed our skin. We're physically not going to shed the outer shell. But of course what we have to do, and I'm going to say metaphorically, we have to shed our skin and shed our outer shell to change, to become, to learn to become, to grow to become whoever is and whatever it is that we want to be. So if you wanted a 20,000 income, pounds, dollars, euros, whatever you want to, currency you want to put on that, we'd have to be at 20 times that in cash. Let's just go with cash in the bank, which would need to be 400,000 currently at 5% return to future-proof our future. If we want to have a 20,000 income in the future. What a thought that is. And at the end of this episode of the Conscious Leadership Podcast, I'll leave you with the thought of how you intend to plan with the knowledge that I have shared on this episode. Think about what your future is for you. Because there is one thing I know, we need to be future-proof in our future as best we can. We can't rely on other people to do that for us. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this podcast for more episodes. I'm going to be doing perhaps 1 or 2 more in this vein to share over the next couple of weeks. This is the Monday episode. So please subscribe to the podcast for more episodes if you haven't already, so you'll get the notifications. And my belief is that many, many more people need to learn this information. It certainly isn't taught to us through the normal, whatever the normal is, education system. And I'll say it again, if you would like to buy Emmanuel Ezekiel's 6 Steps to Financial Freedom book, it's on Amazon, please do. He's a marvel of a man, and I will get him on here to do an interview with him. He has a lot of wisdom and a lot of information to share. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Conscious Leadership Podcast. If you have any questions, please contact me on any one of the social media channels. I'm on most of them, including Clubhouse and YouTube, and my books are on Amazon. If you would like a topic discussed, please tell me, and if you have found this information useful, please share and please leave a review.